This weekend is very special. We celebrate three holidays. There is Shemini Atzeret, there is Simchas Torah, and then there's Columbus Day. Monday is Columbus Day, supposedly a federal holiday, but does anybody know or does anybody care? I do. Columbus has a special place in my heart. It was about him that as a yeshiva boy, I learned one of my first poems. In 1492, Columbus was a Jew. First, he killed the British, and then he made Kiddush. In 1492, Columbus was a Jew. First, he killed the French, and then he benched. Well, I've since learned that didn't make for great poetry, and in fact, it didn't make for great history. Columbus never killed the British or the French. But did he make Kiddush? Did he bench? Was Christopher Columbus a Jew? The question has tantalized historians for generations. There's no concrete evidence, but there are some indications enough to make some believe that Columbus may have been a Marrano, or at least a descendant of those who are some of the evidence. Columbus claimed to be of Italian extraction, but he didn't speak Italian. He spoke Castilian, a language popular with the Jews at that time. Throughout his writings, Columbus makes constant reference to the Hebrew Bible, to Moses, David, Abraham, Isaac, and Sarah. He even computed the age of the world by reference to the Jewish calendar, and I quote, "And from the destruction of the second temple according to the Jews, to the present day, beginning the year of the birth of our Lord, 1481, are 1,413 years." It is said that he was supposed to set sail on August the 2nd of 1492. But for whatever reason, he delayed it one day. Is it possible that he delayed it one day to the 3rd because August the 2nd in that year came out on Tisha B'Av, a date considered unlucky to begin a voyage or a new enterprise? Can all this be a coincidence? No way of knowing for sure. That's a question that has puzzled historians for many years. But now we have a new question. Do we want him to be a Jew? You see, Christopher Columbus gets a very bad press these days. Some say we should not be celebrating Columbus Day. Some say it should be a day that we celebrate indigenous Indians. After all, there are plenty of Native Americans who were Indians here long before him. And even worse, now it's been revealed that Columbus was a slave trader, a man who totally brutally colonialized America by force, a man who exploited the people living here, condoning violence. So, what's the story on Columbus? You know, our country, instead of being called the United States of America, was almost called Columbia in honor of this man, as indeed our nation's capital still bears his name. And now suddenly this man has become a villain. What should we say? What I would say is, if we start looking at all of our heroes of the past, we'll find out they were all villains. As someone pointed out, look at Mount Rushmore. Washington and Jefferson were both slave owners. Lincoln was not really so much pro-emancipation as he was pro-saving the Union. And Theodore Roosevelt used to go hunting for fur skins. Should we blast their pictures off Mount Rushmore? I would remind you, our tradition teaches Ein Tzadik Ba'olam Asher Yaseh Tov V'lo Yechta, that there's no one on earth who's perfect, who does not sin. No one. Does that mean that we're all entitled to be heroes? No. But it might mean that while you can focus on their faults, it shouldn't cause you to erase their virtues. Columbus discovered America. That's no small thing. The whole world is different because of him. And we should also remember, in Columbus's day, slavery was not considered an evil. It was a fact of life. In Columbus's time, colonization was not a crime. It was the way countries functioned. And the civilization that Columbus is accused of having destroyed, that civilization practiced human sacrifices and primitive superstitions. Are we not better off because of him? I think this lesson was taught to us by Moshe, when in his closing words to the Jewish people, he said, Zachor Yemot Olam, remember the days of old, Binu Shnot Dor Vador, consider the years of many generations. On a simple level, these verses seem to be redundant, but the Hasidic masters read it in the most beautiful manner. Zachor Yemot Olam. Yes, remember the past, but at the same time, Binu Shnot Dor Vador. Understand the changes that come from generation to generation. Times do change. Our perspective does change. And what might have seemed right then might not be considered so right now. But heroes deserve to be judged by the standards of their times, not ours. So, yes, let's celebrate Columbus Day. Not necessarily because he was a Jew, but because he helped discover America. And we as Jews join with the citizens of the United States in proclaiming God bless America.